All right, what's going on, Sooner Nation? So today we've got an interview lined up with James Carrington, or as some of you know him, Tank Carrington, the defensive lineman that the Oklahoma Sooners have been targeting here in this 2026 class. And one where, listen, if you've been following, you know, we feel good about where Oklahoma currently stands for his services. But before we dive into the interview, we got to talk about James Carrington a little bit himself. He's a 6'3", 250-pound defensive lineman. So a guy that probably fits more of the Ethan Downs mold of what you've seen for Oklahoma over the past couple of years. A guy that you're definitely going to see on the edge a little bit. But this is a guy that has over 30 offers from some of the most elite schools all over the country. His services are wanted by the likes of the LSUs, the USCs, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Florida States, the Michigans, the Notre Dames, the Oregons, the Tennessees, the Texas A&Ms. These are all schools you look for when you look for defensive line offers. And it really just tells you how the coaches feel about that specific player. And production-wise, he's been a guy that at Bishop Gorman, going up against some of the most elite talent year over year, you know, because Bishop Gorman turned out a couple five-star offensive tackles not too long ago. He's been able to produce 55 solo tackles in 2 years at Bishop Gorman. He had 66 total tackles, 36 tackles for loss. He had 74 QB hurries and 24 sacks. So this is a guy that is an absolute monster for anybody out there in the backfield and for any opposing quarterback. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the interview. Before we do that, as always, join the discussion, jump in the comments below. Make sure you guys go give Tank Carrington a follow. And if you guys are new to the channel, we do recruiting content and interviews like this all off season long. So I want you to be a part of the community here. Make sure you're subscribed. We'd love to have you be a part of the channel. But let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, Mr. Carrington, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
You know, I'm not doing too bad. It's some nice weather out here in Oklahoma. So we got baseball going on, softball. You can get out and actually watch the games, and it'd be good weather. You get out and walk the dog. So you can't complain too much. But listen, appreciate you coming on the show to give the fans here, especially Oklahoma fans who have been very intrigued by your recruitment, an opportunity to learn more about you and kind of give some insight to your recruitment. But before we dive into that, I kind of want to start off this video with just a little bit more information about yourself, right? So give everybody some information. When did you start playing football, and how did you know this is something that you wanted to do at a high level?
Um, I started playing football when I was about 5 years old. Just starting at flag football. Um, I really got into it with my dad. Me and him being at practice every day, and him kind of like coaching me up on the sidelines and during the game. So that's where I really got my passion for it from. Um, and that's where I wanted to see myself at a high level, doing it. Probably because of my dad, and just that, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you were previously at Bishop Gorman, where you played some pretty high level talented teams. Like you've played against some pretty elite players. Is there a specific player that you've gone up against that's kind of been uh, like your favorite player that you've gone up against in high school?
Um, you know, I really went to Bishop Gorman because they had that top offensive line there
Yeah.
in the nation. So really the hardest football was probably during practice there. So SJ, um, he's probably like the top guy I've had to face in my career. I've gotten a lot better practicing with him and playing against him and with him. So you know that's good. So I've had a lot of experiences with him. going to the Polynesian Bowl, and me and him were there with a lot of Bishop Gorman guys. So um, he's probably the top guy I've had to go against in high school. Yes.
And you're right. Yeah, Bishop Gorman's kind of been a school that's been able to produce a lot of top talent, so it probably helps you fine tune your skills a little bit, because iron sharpens iron. So when you see them every day in practice, it just makes you better. So before we dive into your recruitment, everybody always likes the fun questions, and one of the questions we have to ask everybody is, what is your favorite chicken wing flavor, and are you a drum or a flat person?
Um, I'd say I'm definitely a flat guy. Um, I don't really have a favorite flavor. Probably just like original, no sauce. So pretty
Okay.
plain. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll take that. All right, well, let's dive into your recruitment a little bit, because that's what everybody wants to know about, right? So what has this recruiting process been like for you so far? Because you've got over 32 offers, so you've got quite a few teams calling for your services.
Um, it's it's been a hold on one second. It's been a lot, over you know the past year or a few months, since being a junior in colleges, being able to contact me officially. So you know, it's been a lot to manage and kind of like handle texting everybody back, in a timely manner. So I've had my dad to help a little bit, with managing my Twitter a little bit. So, I'm grateful with that. So it's
Yeah.
not been, too hard. It's been good. Yes.
Yeah. Now, what schools are hitting you up the most? Because, yeah, like I'm sure you're getting flooded with texts from not only the head coaches and the recruiters, but you're probably hearing from like the Chad Simmons and the Steve Wiltfongs of the world. So, like, what coaches are hitting you up the most, whether it's through text or your DMs?
Um, probably, probably the most, consistent coach would be Coach Todd Bates, there at Oklahoma. He always texted me bright and early in the morning and like every day. So it's been, everyday basis, getting to know him and building a relationship with him. So I'm very grateful for that. So that's probably the most consistent top coach there. Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to get to Oklahoma here in a second, but being on the West Coast, right? You've got schools like the Oregons of the world, USC, Washington, um, you know, looking at some of those West Coast schools, and I believe you've taken a couple visits to Oregon. I think you've taken a couple to USC. Where do those schools currently stack up in your recruitment? And is this a recruitment where you want to stay closer to home, or is this just I want to go to the school where I'm the best fit?
It's definitely I, I would say I want to go to home where it's the best fit for me because I've been everywhere, so I don't.
Yeah.
So,
Now, I mean, you've got some of the most elite schools in the entire country looking at you. I mean, I see you've got offers from SEC schools, Big Ten schools like LSU, Alabama. Obviously, I just talked about USC and Oregon, but you've got the Georgia offer. You've got the offer from Tennessee and Texas A&M. So, kind of looking at uh, those schools, and some of the schools that you've obviously taken visits to, is there like a top 5 coming out soon? And is there a specific set of schools that have just really stuck out to you?
um, no, there's not going to be a top 5. I'm just going through my recruitment and gonna find the right school that fits me the best. Um, Probably some of the schools like Oklahoma and Tennessee and USC. They kind of stick out in my recruitment right now. Having constant contact with the coaches and everything, and building a relationship. So that's good.
Yeah, now you have your official visit set with Oklahoma for June 6th. So you're obviously going to get out here. You've been to Oklahoma before. Looking at Oklahoma, what stands out to you from Oklahoma's standpoint? Is it Todd Bates and the relationship there? Is it Brenton Venables? Like, what about Oklahoma stands out to you?
It's definitely for me. It would be the connection with Coach Bates. Seeing what the talent that he produces at a college level, and um, putting those kids that he teaches in the league, and being just a really excellent coach. And he's always stayed in constant contact with me, and I like him personally from the visits, and my dad likes him. So that's a good connection right there that we already have with the school. So just going out on this official visit would just be finding more things about the school, that really like pique my interest, or our interest in the recruiting process.
Yeah, now I didn't see any other official visits scheduled. Do you have any other scheduled right now, or are you still kind of working out some dates to get to more places?
Um, I have LSU official visit scheduled. Um, I have the date in here, but I don't know it by.
Oh no, you're fine. You don't have to know the date. So you got LSU on your calendar. Any other schools or any that you potentially want to take to? You just haven't had a chance to get them scheduled.
Probably like USC, now that I'm out here in California, so that's a really close school. Um, in Tennessee, I have a pretty good relationship with coaches there. So those are a few schools.
That's awesome. All right. Well, kind of looking at your recruitment a little bit, obviously, I mean, I'm looking at the visit list. You've been quite a few places. Is there a specific stadium that has stuck out in terms of just like, the way that it looks, where it's at? Is there a stadium that stuck out that's the coolest?
Um, the coolest, the closest I can get to that is like probably like a game environment. So like the coolest game environment that I've been in would probably be like Florida State. I went down to Florida State for a game. They're always pretty loud in there with the chant and everything. So that was like kind of like a bone chilling moment in my recruitment. So that really stuck out with me. Yes.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Florida State. Have never been able to make it down there. Maybe Oklahoma will get to play them once again in a home and home series. We'll make it down there and I'll get to go. So, yeah, kind of, wrapping this up, looking about your recruitment. Peel back the curtain a little bit. What is something that you're looking for in a school in your recruitment to kind of help make a decision? Is it going to be facilities? Is it I really want to have a good relationship with the coaches that I'm going to end up being developed by? What's going into that decision?
I would say it's more so the relationship with the coach that I'm going to be developed by, because coaches can always come and go in college. So I need to trust that like he's really with the program, and he's really with developing like the kids that he he teaches. And So facilities also have a thing to do with it, but probably not as big as role, like as you say. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you coming on the show today, taking a little bit of time out of your day to kind of dive into your recruitment a little bit and a little bit about that process for you. Where can fans follow you at?
Um, on Twitter, it's James underscore Big Tank. Um, and Instagram is just 5 star underscore Big Tank as well. So um, those are, you know, mainly Twitter. So I'm mainly active on there. So yes.
Okay. I will link that profile down in the description below so that you guys can go out there. Make sure you give him a follow, show him some love. But hey, listen, James, I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.